Hey guys, I want to give an updated tour of my beach back porch decor. I am loving showing what I'm doing here. I am a visionary artist and interior designer and jewelry designer, as well as a spirit channel and medium and psychic and remote viewer, and all these other things. But what I've always loved is decorating. And I realized after I awakened all of my psychic abilities, or at least the ones that I have so far, that I was channeling my spaces. Like, for instance, whenever I move to a new space, I don't measure anything. I get the images of where the furniture is going to go, and it always fits exactly right. I didn't measure anything. I filled up a over 1,200 square foot house with all this furniture and didn't measure anything, and everything fit exactly the way it was supposed to fit, and even the movers noticed it. And that's because I'm channeling. I can decorate the whole house without going inside. I mean, I can go inside like one time, take a couple pictures, and know what to do. So I'm going to show you my porch. I love it. Okay, so last time I showed you, my phone is plugged in, so that's why I'm tethered. So, of course, these windows open up to the backyard. And that's what I showed you last time. There's a ceramic planter that I made and some stuff that I found at the beach. There is my cool driftwood sun catcher hanger. I have two of these. My friend gave me these that her friend made. So, one thing that I love about this, which I know is going to seem like a small thing to most people, is that I can charge my crystals here on this ledge very easily. Where I was before, I didn't have anything like that. Didn't have any good place to charge crystals in the moon or the sun. So here are some of the ones that are charging. Metatron's Cube, Merkaba. These are solar lanterns. You've seen them before. I had them in the Pyramid of Light meditation tent that I had. This is a bug sculpture made from like a banister and some drawer handles. It's a ceramic planter that I got years and years and years ago. And shells that I found. One of my favorite crystals. And you might wonder, like, why did you put up curtains? Well, because I thought when it rains, instead of having it, get all over the place, I don't really know if the rain's going to come in here, but instead of getting everything wet, these are shower curtains. These aren't even real curtains. So, of course, they're indoor-outdoor because they're made to get wet. And I love them. They already come with grommets, so you don't have to put a hole in them. And they make a whole different vibe out here that I love just as much as having the windows open like that. So, I mean, if you want the sun, you can pull them back. But, like last night, it was a little overcast and cooler. And it was just so beautiful and moody in here with these curtains. Let me show you this view. I mean, it to me reminds me of like the 70s and the 80s beach style when there was always some kind of crazy loud beach print, probably on the furniture, if not on the art, or the wallpaper. So this kind of gives me that like feeling of wallpaper, even though it's a curtain. And also I loved that I didn't plan this because I didn't know what it would be like. The pattern repeats from where one of them stops to where the other one starts. So it's a continuous pattern. Only thing is, I didn't have quite enough to go all the way down because that little area is too... That window is too narrow for one of these, is too big for that. So I don't really know what to do with that. Maybe I'll just leave it. I don't know. Let me go over here. I've showed you this before, but these are two chairs. And I like them as chairs, but I also wanted to see if they would be comfortable if I put them together like a settee, and they are. They're very, very comfortable. you lean back at the right angle. In the middle, they kind of raise up a little bit, so it helps goes behind your knee, which I think feels really good. Here's some more sculptures. There was this artist that I found probably 20 years ago on eBay named Janet Donald, and she's Canadian. She's the one that makes all these beautiful creatures out of found objects. Just so you can see better. This is old ceiling tin. She made the tail out of that, and this is like a, you know, some kind of wooden thing that came off some furniture, I guess. I don't know what that is. There's some of my crystal friends. Here's a couple creatures that my brother made. He's a cool, amazing artist, and this is just some air dry clay, I think. I don't know if it's Sculpey. Maybe it's Sculpey. Cute little smoky quartz. I just love getting out all my crystals now, and so I can see them, because my place is so much bigger than the other place that I was in. This is my favorite piece from Janet Donald. She's a mermaid goddess. Like, I love her. She's a mermaid, but she has wings. She's totally a goddess. I've been collecting goddess statues for a long time and didn't really think about it. This was a long time ago that I did that. Because I have, you know, psychic abilities, and I'm just drawn to the things that are going to be important to me. Here's a dragonfly. This was not made by the same artist. Neither was this. This is a bee. But it's, you know, similar style, but her work is just more funky, you know. And a friend of mine gave me this banister piece the other day. And I realized last night, like, oh, okay, now I have, like, a whole gallery of things that are made from old furniture. I didn't really even think about that when I put it there. But also it kind of looks like the number 6 or the number 9. But the number 6 is my personal year number in numerology. And it's also the number that my highway in my address, it reduces to number 6, which is perfect balance, as above, so below, and all that good stuff. So that's pretty cool, I think, and symbolic. These are made by the same artist, Janet Donald. These are the Green Man. Honestly, these are so cool. I think she made these out of cedar wood, and I don't know what this part is, but you get the gist. This was a big platter, and then she put the wood on top of that, and that's just a decorative piece from another piece of furniture. This one has the cool metal as the petals, metal petals. There's a fall guy. I love this one. This is probably the first one that I got. And there's another little baby one. But check this out. This is one of my other favorites. It's a alligator made of a banister and some utensils, spoons and forks. I love his tail. I need to figure out where to put him. He doesn't really have a hanger, so I'm going to have to wire him up somehow. And then one of my other favorites from her is this goddess. Looks like that's made from a wooden spoon and a vegetable strainer and some knobs. I love her. I've had her, I've had all these for at least 20 years. So that's another goddess that I collected without really thinking about why. There's my blue butterfly. And, right after Chris transitioned across the veil, one of his first signs for me were blue butterflies, which apparently is pretty common for spirit. They like using blue butterflies, or, butterflies in general, but blue especially. So he sent me a lot of blue butterflies. And then one day, while I was about to go to sleep for a nap in the middle of the day, which seems to be a great time to go into liminal space and get these experiences, I heard him say, "You have one in the closet." And I did. I had forgotten about this, but it was packed away in my closet in the other room, and I got it out. I totally forgot about it. But he didn't. This is a vintage bag that my friend gave me from the thrift store. This is a painting. I was planning on replacing it. I had gotten somebody to gift me a gorgeous picture framed photograph of a beach scene that I was really drawn to. But the person who picked it up for me from the Buy Nothing group never brought it to me. It's been a couple days. I haven't heard anything from her. So I actually suspect she stole it, which is so weird. But I was really looking forward to it. It was a gift from Chris. I had just been thinking about my ex-mother-in-law's painting of the beach that she had. It was an original painting of waves crashing on the beach, and I loved it. And I was thinking, where is that painting? You know, it'd be cool to have it. I know my ex-husband doesn't care about her stuff. So I was wishing I had it for this spot on the sun porch, because I'm totally doing the beach stuff, you know, beach theme. And then as soon as I thought it, I went into that Buy Nothing group, and there was this photograph. And it reminded me of Wrightsville Beach, where I go with my friends and see orbs. So I'm really sad that somebody would actually steal a sacred gift from Spirit. And she also was giving me a lamp that I need. I don't have as many lamps as I used to. I sold a bunch of them, or they stopped working. So that's disappointing. Hopefully maybe I'm wrong and that's not what happened. That'd be a weird introduction to this town, I guess. A friend of mine made this probably over 25 years ago. There's an abalone shell I got at a recent gem show. These are those chairs that I put together. My friend helped me put these together. And they came with tables to match. I wouldn't have bought these tables. I'd rather find vintage stuff on Marketplace or something. But they came with the chairs, so I could put them outside if I had to. I do have furniture outside. So I'm trying to show you this. So this, these are just battery LED lights. You've seen them before in the Pyramid of Light. And this is a collection of Arkansas quartz clusters that are for sale. So if you want to see Arkansas quartz, which is some of the strongest, most pure quartz in the world, it has a special vibration. It's prized for that. That's why it's usually more expensive. But I have these at a really affordable price. I'm not trying to, get rich or anything. I would just like basically to pay myself back for some of the ones that I kept. I kept a few out of these boxes, but not many. I kept the ones that I felt were from Chris because they were shaped like a heart or they were twins or something. And now this is a twin, I guess. But there's a few more points coming off of there. That is so cool. I love this one. Anyway, I love making art with crystals. And I love making lighting. I've been designing lighting for a long time, and I've used it in my art quite a bit, even on my canvases. So, I just thought this looked nice. But what I did yesterday, which I think is super cool, and I'll tell you that there's a story behind it. So I saw somebody at a gem show who did this, put crystals in one of these jars and lit them up. And I mean, you can get these light stands anywhere. And I've always loved these little jars. They're so cute. So I figured I'll try it. So yesterday, I got the stand and I went in the kitchen to look for my museum putty, which is putty that you can use to stick things together. And then it's like silly putty kind of, but it sticks. And then, if you have something breakable and you don't want your cats or yourself or your kids to knock it off, it'll stick. So I was going to stick this to this, thinking that I thought it was like a flat surface here, like most of these are. What I didn't realize was it has a rim on it that fits exactly the size of this jar. And I did not buy these together at all. I didn't even measure. I didn't even pay attention to the measurements. I got slack on that. So I go in the kitchen. I can't find my brand new pack of museum putty. And yesterday was an annoying day, and I was like, God, I'm so annoyed, right? And I also spilled a box full of poetry magnets, and they went everywhere in the junk drawer that I was looking in. So I'm picking out these poetry magnets, right? And the very last one is laying there on the floor. And I figured maybe it was going to be a message from Chris in spirit. I'm assuming that my twin flame is Chris, and he's on the other side of the veil. So I'm frustrated, and I was like, Chris, this day sucks. And I looked at that one last magnet, and it said trust. And I'm like, okay, I knew that was him saying, just calm down, babe. So I come outside to go ahead and put some crystals, and these are the same Arkansas crystals in this jar. I just put some ones that would fit. That my criteria was which ones would fit. It's windy today. So I come out here to put some crystals in here. I had to stick with the ones that were points, really, because the bigger clusters don't work. Look how clear Arkansas quartz can be. And this isn't even the clearest. I mean, some of it is just water clear, right? And I could put more in here. I just don't have pieces that fit right now. None of the other pieces would fit. So anyway, I came out here and realized that this thing fits right inside that thing, and I don't need museum putty because it's already perfect. It looks like it came together. So that was why Chris said trust. That was one of the reasons he said that with the magnet, right? So I made that, and I made a couple more. Oh, check this out also. This is a vintage abalone shell trivet. It's just perfect, like 1960s Florida beach house. You know, I'm trying to kind of create like this old school beach vibe from when I would go to the beach as a kid, because that's where we would go in North Carolina near my grandma's house. I just want that vibe that made me feel really good as a kid. You know, it's some of it is sort of tacky, like these are kind of over the top, these curtains, but I love it because everything else in here is neutral. I wanted neutral and sand colored things. I deliberately chose things that were, you know, sand colored. And all these pillows, by the way, these are from the thrift store. They're very nice. They're canvas, they're soft cotton fabric, and they're down filled. So they're not really outdoor pillows, but I can bring them inside, you know, to make sure they don't get ruined too fast. But yeah, those were like $1. And then there's a couple more of these little lamps that I made. I can't go all the way over there because my phone is plugged in because I didn't plan well. So anyway, these don't look quite as good because you can't see through all the shells like you can with the crystals. But that's my collection of coral that I had found over the years at the beach here in North Carolina. And those are some of my conch shells that I have found. Conch shells and seaweed, I guess seaweed or sea plants or whatever. I need to neaten up that bowl because it's a little chaotic right now. But that's full of big whole conch shells. Not just the broken ones and the ones that look like a spiral. There's like whole unbroken conch shells in there. There's a vintage lamp that I love. And just some, you know, random containers for more driftwood and more shells. And a big piece of driftwood that I didn't really know what to do with. It's so pretty. Has barnacles in it. So I just decided to hang it for now. We'll see. We'll see what I decide to do later. But anyway, if you watched this, thanks for coming into my abode for a little while. I have just spent every day out here when the weather is nice. Like, why wouldn't you? It's so nice today. It's in the 70s and it's June. And that's really not normally how it is. And it's been like that all spring. It's been really nice. I'll probably do some videos out here at night. I usually come out here to skywatch for orbs and then just to hang out with my Chris in spirit. Hanging out at night is usually a good time for us. And then we might listen to a podcast or something. All right. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great day.